How do you sort out the so-called jargon from real-world practices that work? Do the members of your organization find some business or technology advice utterly confusing? Welcome to Real Talk with Sam Holcman. In this program, we set the record straight, and in terms that business people and technology people can understand. Now, here is your host, Sam Holcman.
Welcome to this edition of Real Talk. I'm Sam Holcman. Thanks for joining me. And the topic for today is TOGAF and Wikipedia. Now, the reason I'm saying that is these are not my opinions or statements. I'm getting these statements directly from Wikipedia and in the TOGAF, if I can use the phrase, I don't even know what Wikipedia things are called. I'm not a big user of Wikipedia. I have no criticism or love for that. I'm just mentioning it because one of our clients pointed this out to me. I'm chuckling because I read this and I said, "You got to be kidding me." And my reaction was this. After looking at this Wikipedia entry for TOGAF, what organization would adopt TOGAF with these elements? So what I'm doing now is I'm just reading from TOGAF/Wikipedia entries. And you can do the same thing. So please go to Wikipedia, type in the Open Group Architecture Framework or TOGAF, whatever you're comfortable with. Scroll to the bottom in the area that's called criticism. And I'm going to make some comments on each one of these. First thing it says is real examples demonstrating the actual practical use of TOGAF's recommendations are missing. There is a pressing need for some detailed worked examples and use cases. Although these were requested, they were not forthcoming for from TOGAF trainers or the Open Group. Statement number one. Statement number two. EA practitioners report that TOGAF can hardly be followed step by step. Our initial assumptions about TOGAF were that it would be sort of a methodology that we could follow to produce R.E.A.L. However, it turned out not to be the case. My commentary. There's a difference between a body of knowledge, which is easy, a knowledge base, easy, like an encyclopedia, and a methodology, which is a recipe, a guided step-by-step approach to produce something. Wow. So those of you that are looking at the base of knowledge, a body of knowledge, please think about it as an encyclopedia. An encyclopedia is great for general information, but if you want to do something, you need to have a recipe, a methodology. Number three, detailed analysis demonstrates that TOGAF-based EA practices do not resemble the original TOGAF prescriptions in any real sense. I'm not even going to comment on that. Number four, TOGAF's prescriptions are vague and inarticulate since it only states that the ADM should be adopted without specifying how. Again, there's no recipe. I want to stress again, this is one of the biggest things that our clients have come to us and why they come to us. We have a recipe. We provide a recipe. And once we have the recipe in the client's hands, yes, they can change the recipe. But coming out of the gate, they can produce a very good EA. Just like a recipe for chocolate cake or whatever recipe book that you're looking at. You want to have a recipe that provides you with something that's good, and then you can modify it. We don't see that here. Number five, Jason Bloomberg argues that for many organizations, TOGAF has gained traction simply because it's better than doing nothing. Okay. Mr. Bloomberg, that's an interesting statement. I won't go any further there. Next point. The changes introduced in TOGAF version 9.2 do not address the fundamental problems of the mechanistic planning approach advocated by TOGAF and other previous step-by-step architecture methodologies, including EAP and BSP. Don't know what to say there. Another item. second from last. The recent changes introduced in the TOGAF Standard 10th edition only reinforce its purely symbolic status in the EA discipline as something actively discussed but lacking any substance. My goodness, once again, why would people go after this with this type of criticism? And finally, the last issue is the most telling to me. Historical analysis shows that TOGAF's astonishingly popularity can be considered as purely accidental and attributed solely to its effective promotion at the right time period. Great advertising and great marketing. I want to stress again at the close of this particular episode, these are not my opinions or research. This is out of Wikipedia. The question that I ask my audience, and those of you that have adopted TOGAF, and those managers and executives in the technology department or the business department that are looking at this, with this type of criticism, why would you use it? There are some great alternatives. And yes, one of the greatest alternatives is the Enterprise Architecture Center of Excellence, EACOE, Enterprise Architecture Methodology and Framework. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for tuning in to Real Talk. Be sure to join your host, Sam Holcman, again for another edition of our program. We'll have more real topics of discussion then.